Sunday again, and it's the 9th of July at approximately, well, just on 8 o'clock anyway. Well, here it is anyway.
It's one.
Right,
It's
how
1
is everyone?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. You got 9 o'clock. Yep. What time you got, Kev?
20:01.
Oh, God.
It's the same time in Russia. That doesn't make
Military
sense.
time.
Well, turn off. Right, so anyway, Sue's in the chat. Right, who we got here? We got Harvey. Harvey was here first.
Hey, Harvey.
And Captain Joe's here. And Lee's driving back to Lee.
But he's listening.
On the road.
He's just not
on the road. Oh, he's on the road. Right, who else we got? I'm not sure who that is. That's Stephen David or Ian or someone. What's that doing there? What are we doing? Hey, George. I've done you already. How many more chats do we have? Lee there again. Yeah, recovery drone. That's yes. I know those. I think.
That's
that John. No. Blind Finn.
I've forgotten his name now. That's John. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Recovery drone. Oh.
John. Yes, John. It's John.
Brian is my cousin
Brian.
Dre.
That's it, Dre. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone's name.
Steve Knowles and Steve Knowles.
Steve, yeah. Silver Surfer. I can't remember.
That's a big secret. Can't tell you.
Not me. Silver Surfer. Right. Everybody goes, oh, Dave's here. See, some people have proper names, don't they? Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Yeah.
Do you know his name's Dave or is it Rodney?
I don't know, but I call him Dave. He's got Dave Cullen Photography.
Mickey
Moo. Oh, Mickey Moo.
Mickey Moo. That's his real name.
Yeah.
Mickey Moo.
Mickey Moo. Yeah.
Mickey Moo. Jason. Oh,
Jason.
Tom put his name at the end of it.
Oh,
well done, Jason.
yeah.
Well done. Make my life so much easier. Silver Surfer, still know his name is. Oh, it's Steve. We'll call him
I
Steve.
know his
anyway.
name, but I'm not telling.
Hi, Robert.
Why?
I'm still at my live location too for a few minutes before I head back. Drive safely back. And we'll see you next week. Ross is there.
Ross.
And
Down
Gerard.
under. Down under.
Mickey Moo. Good evening.
Down under.
Yeah, I was waiting for you, Terry.
Oh, man.
It's what, sorry, Marcus?
We got back home. That's Man and
David.
Yeah.
Man and David.
Yeah, they're back. In
I am Brian. Brian, where are you, Brian? I've lost you. It's not working. Hang on. There you go. It's working. There you go. Right. So have I got anyone else? Anyone else? No, that's it then. Right. So we've got right to Jason. We've done Jason. There's Jason. Right. Okay. So we're going to not sort of delay anymore. We've got to bring
waiting for Terry's Australian accent.
Australian accent?
Yeah.
What do you mean Australian accent?
I don't get what you mean, mate.
No, I don't either. Put another shrimp on the barbie.
Yep.
Right. Or in Ross's case, take your wife to work early in the morning and sit up eating your cornflakes or whatever you have. Anyway,
well, he's not going to be watching the cricket, is he?
Uh-oh.
Oh, poor Ross.
Let's bring some cricket or sport or
Mind you, we've only won one
Anyway.
match. They've won two.
Should we bring on our
We don't
special
talk
guest?
about
I think we
that.
need
We
to bring our
should.
special
We need our guest.
Let's
There
bring
we
our
go.
guest on.
Roll VT.
Let's welcome this week's Drone Seekers live show special guest.
And Richard, how you doing?
Hey,
So
good.
we Richard into the middle. Very well. Welcome to our 1 hour of madness.
Thank you very much.
I like to call it. We call it a Drone Seekers show, but it really is 1 hour of madness, as everyone can vouch. Just quick say hello to Matty. Hi, Matty. How you doing? Right. So, anyway, Richard. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Because I'm not sure us for one have actually got loads of questions for you and what you've been doing and whatever. So, right. I'll tell you what, Jackie. You got a question, Jackie? You want to start off or?
Oh my God! Can we play his video first?
Okay, all right. So
then I can ask all the million questions.
Sorry.
Well, I'm thinking we should let Richard tell us a little bit about his background, maybe.
Well, I thought that as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, you guys want?
Right. So Yeah, so it's what? Like a job interview. Pretend I'm
How
a
did you
big
get
guy.
into drones?
How did I
Yeah.
get into drones? So I think the biggest background I have is like film in general. I think like from a small age on, I always loved to entertain people, and I tried a whole bunch of different things, different ways, and at some point kind of found film, like around the age of 10. And I really got into that and started to like learn how to do everything by myself, because I had a couple of friends, but none of them were really interested in like making films. So if I wanted to make something good, I had to know how to make it, basically. And that kind of went on, and I did it on the side while I was still in school. And it kind of turned into, well, my job right now is being a director, being a filmmaker, first and foremost.
And a composer.
Composer as well, yeah.
Yep, indeed. You must forget the composer. Yep. So anyway, what we do, Richard, we show the video, and then we can have another chat. So
Sure.
we know what video I'm going to show anyway, but
Love
as
it.
if you didn't know.
Yeah.
What's it called? How to look? Oh yeah, I know.
How to fly.
1 week from now, I go on a road trip to Scotland. And on this road trip, I really want to get some sick FPV drone shots. But right now, I don't know how to fly an FPV drone. Okay, that's the intro, and then we just tell people how he did it. Oh, look, it's YouTube, okay? We gotta make something for the young people, something that's viral. What's hip with the young people right now? Gaming? That's right. How-to videos. But at this point, he doesn't even know how to do it, so how could he teach others how to learn how to? Nah, how-to is great. How-to is good for the algorithm. It's good for the algorithm. It's good for the algorithm. We're making a how-to video. So today I'm showing you how to learn how to fly an FPV drone in just 1 week. What?
How to learn how to fly an FPV drone in just 1 week. Step 1. Learn what an FPV drone is.
So an FPV drone is a drone that you have full manual control over, so you can do flips and sick dives. Cut that out, that's boring.
Step 1. Buy an FPV drone. Preferably one you don't have to build yourself, because you just have 1 week. Step 2. Buy an FPV drone flying simulator so that you can learn how to fly an FPV drone without having to crash your new drone in real life. Your Xbox controller will replace a real controller without problem. Step 3. Realize that an Xbox controller doesn't replace a real controller without problem. And get a real controller. Step 4. Now, take the drone you just bought for your first flight.
Everything so far went fine. I was getting super comfortable with the drone, and then this happened. Nothing happened. 'Cause I'm a goddamn genius.
Step 5. Spend the next week practicing daily to fly the drone in the simulator and in real life as well. Because the simulator will enable you to try out the controls without fear of crashing and destroying your new drone. And flying in real life will teach you how the drone behaves in a real world scenario. Step 6. Get a haircut. Step 7. Practice some more with the new haircut. Step 8. While practicing, almost crash your drone into a tree. But don't actually crash it into the tree, because you are a goddamn genius.
I'm a goddamn genius.
Step 9. Grow your hair back, because we forgot about continuity. Step 10. Practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. And
How do we end the video? I got it. He goes on the road trip. And then I went on the road trip.
Step 11. Go on a road trip.
So he goes on a road trip, and then he explains that even though he already was comfortable with the controls, it took him a little bit more time flying in Scotland in actual locations to get the full control of the drone, and then in the end finally managed to get the sick FPV drone shots that he was looking for. That way we can close the story arc and explain it's not that easy. Or we do something better. Like 2 words. Cinematic B-roll sequence.
Step 12. Make a cinematic B-roll sequence.
And that is how to learn how to fly an FPV drone in just 1 week. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like. You know that he actually had about 1.5 weeks to learn it, and also the year prior he spent some extra hours in the simulator with an Xbox controller. Catchy titles. That is the name of the game. You think your mumbo jumbo is catchy? Make it 1 week. But he eine Woche. But unos semanas. S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît.
Goodness the manners.
Proud of that.
Just, it's, I even found myself looking at a notice board trying to read on the back.
That was
I know it was. It was. I'm saying that's about the 5th time, and it still makes me laugh. So it's,
Thank you so much. It's so good to hear.
I'll tell you what, I word with your boss. He's a bit mean, though. Isn't he? Very pushy. I don't know. Yeah, I just have a word with him. No, I mean, so what? But how did you actually think of the concept of that, Richard? I mean, you know, was it really as it needed to be? Did you?
He's a goddamn genius.
Yeah, he's a goddamn genius. That's all you need to know.
Excuse me, I gotta ask again. What's the question again? I
Well, so I mean,
Storyline.
so how did you come up with that? You know,
How did I come up with
How
this?
did you think of it? Yeah.
yeah.
I
How
don't
did you
think
think of it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to get into FPV drones, I don't know, for a couple of years, but like it was never an option for me because before the Avata came out, you had to build that stuff yourself, right? You still have to if you really want to do it the good way. But as I'm like a filmmaker, full-time director, I don't really have like too much time on my hands to do stuff like that. And I had a trip planned to Scotland, and about like 2 weeks beforehand, the Avata came out, and I was like, okay, let's buy it, let's do it, let's learn how to fly this thing and actually use it in Scotland on the trip to make a video with it. And I had seen before some YouTube videos of people kind of just documenting the journey, and I thought, well, you know what, I wanted to make YouTube videos for quite a while, so let's do that. And the first idea I actually had was just documenting how I'm getting into this, because I had like actually this 1.5 week window to learn how to fly the drone, and I thought, well, it's a fun challenge. Could be something for a video. You have like an end result in the end, because obviously I'll go to Scotland and do it there, so you have like a little bit of a story arc like you have in films.
Yeah.
And when I got into it, when I started to learn how to fly it and started to film myself during it, I realized it's actually really, really boring to film myself, like trying to figure out the controls, all of that stuff at like the whole time. And it's kind of bugging me because I wanted to focus on actually learning how to do it and not think about, okay, I have to press record here and now I can try this thing, and then I have to stop the shot and take it from a different angle. So a couple of days in, I thought, well, I still want to do the video, but can I do it differently? And I kind of started to shift more towards actually getting a voiceover, and then I don't like to take
grew
things
and evolved, I
seriously,
guess.
so I kind of shifted more and more towards let's put some humor in it. And
Mm.
how about actually at this point I also had like grown my hair out as an experiment for a year, as you can see. A friend of mine wanted me to try this for like ever, so I did it for a year. But during this whole time, I also would already had an appointment for a haircut, obviously. Just in the video as well, and suddenly some ideas started flowing, and I thought, what about we actually make this funny and kind of still have some truth in there? I mean, a lot of things I included are basically the way how you learn.
Yeah.
And I also thought, well, let's make it not boring, and let's make it
It's certainly not boring. It's certainly not.
No, it was really good fun.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that video. I thought, interesting.
Wait, what made you learn to do it in manual rather than just pick it up and fly it? Because of course you can just fly it in auto, can't you?
Yes, you can actually. That's the thing I love about it, that you can actually fly like a normal drone and not in manual. But the reason I got into FPV in general was that you can get shots you could not get with a normal drone. So I have like Mavic 2 Pro, also I had like a Mavic Air, so some normal drones, right? Mm-hmm. And they're nice and good, and especially on travels. But I saw some footage from FPV pilots basically and filmmaker friends overseas, and that stuff just looked like you're basically flying through the air, like you're kind of Superman. You actually could go in places where you could never go by yourself,
right?
Like just dive down a waterfall or something like that.
Yeah.
And that just made me go, I love that so much. I love roller coasters. It kind of feels a little bit like a roller coaster, and you can like see spaces from a viewpoint you could never see before, and it's dynamic and all that stuff. So the type of flying really is what got me into it.
Yeah, the Varta. I mean, apart from Kev, I think we've all got Vartas. And
that's it. We've got 5 Varta fans here.
Yeah, because it's just it's great. I mean, did you ever not think about getting the other DJI FPV drone, the original one?
Yeah, I thought about it. Actually, I worked at a production company, freelance wise, and they bought one, and another filmmaker tried it out and broke it within like the first week.
The other issue with the original FPV drone is the camera probably isn't quite up the quality you'd want.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of bad things about it. I don't know myself because I never got it into my hands, but a lot of people said, well, it's like a nice attempt, but it's not really worth it because it breaks easily. It's super big and funky.
I think that was the thing with me. I think because I bought one. And I love flying. I mean, the speed of the thing. I mean, it's a lot faster than the Varta. Yeah. But then, from the point of view of thinking, well, I haven't broken it yet. Let's keep it that way. And I sold it, bought a Varta.
I just love mine. I still love it.
Yeah. It's a great drone. There's no two ways about it. It's a great drone.
I'm still learning.
Well, I've got both, and I really love the Avata, but I will go back to the FPV occasionally.
Yeah.
The thing is, let me tell you, you're never too old. I went out with a friend of mine yesterday who's 80 years old. He had never flown. He bought an Avata, never flown it before. Got him up in the air almost instantly with a motion controller. And Jackie, I want you to know, he did way better than I did on my first flight. Anyway.
So Richard, do you use motion control or use the sticks?
No, he's got sticks. He tried to be an Xbox first.
I kind of bought the sticks right from the beginning because I heard you can only like really use the manual mode if you use the sticks and do all the flips and like really crazy stunts. And also, coincidentally, for some reason, the motion controller that came with my Avata never really worked with the drone itself.
Oh, really?
Tried it out a couple of times. It didn't really do what it should do. They even sent it in, but it must be something with the drone itself, probably. I don't know, but it didn't do what it wanted to. So that kind of wasn't even, an option for me.
So question, Richard, your throttle stick, do you take the spring out of that so that you can go down to 0 throttle? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the only way, because I know with the because I didn't quite get the grips with that straight away, and I tried using the simulator. I kept crashing all the time. I think, well, this is rubber. How the hell am I even going to fly the drone? I keep crashing, and I suddenly realised, because what I didn't realise, I didn't read the manual, did I? Like you do, and the fact that you have to pull the stick has to be at the bottom. So I was living in the middle. And of course, the sort of thing was like going half speed. It was taking off half speed. I thought that's where I went wrong. So
That's quick.
so maybe I'll go back and have a go at it sometime. But if anyone in the chat's got any questions for Richard, by the way, just type away. Like I can't. Maybe I'm missing it. Was it? Sorry,
I've got a question for Richard.
Sure.
So you surely have some more drone projects in the work, or particularly with the Avata. Is there anything exciting you can tell us about?
So yes and no. The truth is, I never really bought it to just make films with it the whole time.
Right.
Like if I can take it on a trip with me, I will, and fly it, like a mix between just having fun and also getting cool shots. If I'll make a video out of it in the end, I'll make a video out of it. If not, it's also good. I think I have a lot of footage that I want to kind of convert into Instagram Reels or something like that, where I just have short little moments of flights that I particularly like. And I'm trying to use it, however, in other projects as much as I can, because, you know, most of the time I'm not just making films about drones, but like lots of commercials. But the goal in general is to go back to narrative filmmaking. I shot a feature film at the end of last year, so over December into this January, we shot in Costa Rica, and there we used the Avata quite a bit, but not really in the crazy manual mode, and more in the the normal kind of
just getting the cinematic shots, I suppose. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we mounted a GoPro on top of it to get some better quality out of it, and just flew through. It was pretty awesome because you can fly very close to plants through the jungle, stuff like that. So it's really helpful.
So that's the other thing is those fly-through videos are getting quite popular, and that's the I think the Avata is almost kind of the king of that now, where people do those elaborate fly-through videos where they're flying through a building or whatever. Is that some? Do you do that kind of flying with your Avata?
Also, like, yes and no. I don't really have a lot of buildings to fly through, and I like to kind of risk it and fly close to things, but only if I realize it's kind of worth the shot. So if I see, okay, that could be like a really, really cool video in the end, sure. If not, well, I'll probably won't risk it.
So what's the difference between auto and manual? One auto flies itself, manual will crash it.
Well, there's a better way to describe that, I think, Steve.
Or fly like Richard does and don't crash it unless you go through a camper van.
So the drone is GPS stabilized. In other words, you let go of the sticks or whatever, and it's going to hover in place. Yeah. Manual mode, you're flying the drone 100% of the time. If you're not giving it throttle, it's going to fall out of the sky.
Yeah, Matty says leveling mode, manual.
That's a good description, Matty.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I haven't tried manual mode yet. It's one of the things I keep saying. I'm going to go out one day. I'm going to do it, and I will do it. But
but you need more than a day. You need at least a week and a half.
Yeah, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to do it a day.
Hey, Steve.
Anyone know any got any glue? Al, you got any special glue?
Steve,
you'll need lots of mattresses.
Yeah. Do me a favor and make sure you're, about 100 meters up in the air or so when you do it.
No, do us another favor. Make sure Jackie's there.
No, I should make sure Jackie definitely isn't there because listen, every time, just my drone crashes itself. Actually, Richard, my Avata crashes itself.
That's a good drone.
My Avata, it went back. I lost signal. Okay. And then it returned to home, and I couldn't see where it was. Unfortunately, where I took off was actually about 50 feet lower than it was. So it went up to what would have been 100 feet, But of course, 100 feet from where I was so it was only 50 feet. That probably wasn't even that. Anyway, long story short,
It nearly cleared the building.
just as I got sight of the drone again, I see it just smash into a roof.
But I got
You got it on video.
Well, no, the drone made a good job of putting itself on video, unfortunately. But
yeah.
It bounced off the roof, and we had the guy Stevie Knowles, who's in the chat somewhere. We went on a mad hunt for it. We put a drone on the roof, looking on the roof for it. It wasn't there.
It had actually bounced back about 30 feet, hadn't it? Landed in a bush, and
it literally went doof backwards. I think it didn't even do a flip though, did it? That's what I can't understand. Why did it do a flip? What was that all
It's like the other week when I hit that signpost, it just bounces backwards.
Well, I wish mine had done that. Mine did a bloody roll.
You did a roll solid, yeah. That was manual.
That was manual, yes.
I've never crashed my Avata. Never.
Yeah. And you're not flying it right. You
as I said, if you're not crushing it, you're not flying it.
That's
one thing I heard about FPV drones. Like, if you are not crashing, you're doing something wrong because you're not like risking it enough. And
my sense was exactly, Richard.
Surprising, like Avata is really, really rigid. Is it rigid the word? Like, it doesn't break.
It's tough.
Yes, it's pretty incredible. I had some faults where I thought it should be done by now, but it didn't.
But we put these little bumper things on there, like a plastic mold, 3D plastic molding around the outside of it. But I hadn't put mine on when I crashed it. So I've got a little tiny mark on it. Yeah, like that. Look.
It would have bounced 60 foot if you'd have put that on before you crashed.
Actually, Terry, what have you got? What are yours? Yours look different.
No, I've only got 2 on because at the moment I need to trim them so that.
No, but you've got, but mine, Jackie, they're different to ours, aren't they?
Yeah, ours are like
the
number 3. Whereas yours is just a little half.
I actually like the idea of Terry's better. Actually, I quite like it.
They move.
Naked. Mine's naked.
Oh,
I've got to trim them though because the air screw 3 clips it, so I need to trim them. So. Good, I like it though. It's fun. And the new integral goggles.
In Costa Rica, I somehow managed to fly it against a coconut tree, and it kind of flew against the coconut and flipped and went all the way back down. It had a GoPro mounted on top, and the GoPro kind of got destroyed a little bit, so the back screen doesn't work anymore. The Avata, on the other hand, is like.
It's good to go.
And it was naked, so
last year in Florida I saw one fall from this is no joke about
this is Alexis.
Alexis's. It was brand new out of the box and a prop blew up on it. Anyway, she was about 250 feet up in the air, landed on top of a building, bounced off the building onto the ground, and it was fine. It was good.
That drone was certainly built for us. That's for certain.
Yeah.
So did you start flying in manual mode more or less straight away, then, Richard? I mean,
well, I definitely started the first couple times in auto mode, and then I transitioned to manual. But I definitely put in like a whole bunch of hours into the simulator first to kind of figure out, because it's like the controls were completely different. It's like in auto mode, you basically fly like a Mavic or like any other drone.
That's right.
Manual, it's all weird.
So when you put that in the simulator, how was it? Was it a good idea? You're using the simulator obviously instead of crashing the drone, as you say in the video.
Of course.
But obviously, so when you started to actually fly the drone, was it the same as the simulator?
It was really similar. So I think that there is 100% a difference because the simulator I got, at least, it doesn't have the exact model. So you have something similar, but it will react a little bit different to the inputs.
Oh, okay.
And it will always, like, even if you have the exact model, like DJI has an own simulator that's free, I think. Yeah. And even there, if you try to fly with the Avata, the real Avata will react differently because it's, well, in the real world, right? There's like real prop watch, winds and all that.
Yeah.
But I think it's incredibly helpful to really get an understanding of how you just fly a turn or stuff like that. And for that, it was like the best thing ever, and it reacts exactly the same way. So it's basically you learn how to do it like in the simulator, and once you don't crash there anymore, you got to figure it out. You can risk stuff. You can try to figure out how to do turns and how to fly more controlled, how to actually navigate through smaller spaces and stuff like that. Basically, try out whatever you want. You can crash it at how often you want. You don't have any fears, so that's perfect for learning how everything works. And while in the real world, it does like 80% of that. It's a little different, of course, but like, generally speaking, it works the same. So it's
I think that's why I need to go into a simulator to master that first. Once I feel I've mastered that, as you say, I'll take your tip and just get out there and do it in the real world. It's really high.
So honestly, and I know there's older guys that do it. I'm 67 years old. I will never fly my Avata in manual mode. I'm having a ton of fun with it in the GPS mode. I'm curious, Terry, how about you? Do you want to go into manual mode at some point with your Avata? Yeah, that's kind of me too. I mean, I'm having a lot of fun with it in GPS mode. And
No.
Well, I'll take up the challenge. When I actually come to Florida, we'll have it in manual mode by then, and yeah, we'll see.
Well, I'll tell you what, Steve.
The suitcase might be lighter on the way.
Yeah, Terry and I will be standing there right on the edge of the shore, just cheering you on as you're flying over the ocean in manual mode.
Yeah.
We'll be going, go, Steve, go!
Baby, go!
Well, the ocean's no good because if it crashes, it won't break, will it?
Well, yeah, you won't be able to get it back, then, will you?
It might drown, but it won't crash. Anyway, so Richard went to Scotland on his travels, and he made he made a video. So let's watch the video. I'll find you those. Hang on. that one.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Verb.
Richard, what editing software do you use?
I'm still using Premiere.
All right, okay.
Yeah,
It's
still have-
nice colour tones and everything, isn't it?
Mm.
You've got some nice colour tones in it.
No, thank you very much. Yeah, it's
Is that Premiere Pro you use? Is it?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I use Premiere Pro.
yeah. It's
Not
not the
my
best
videos don't come out that
software.
good though. I think it's part of the content. You have to have the content first before you make it look good. So, how long was you in Scotland for, Richard?
How long was I there? About 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we rented a camper van, which is the one that you saw in the video.
Yeah. Did you fly from Germany to Scotland and then hire a camper van over here in the UK? Or?
No, we actually had a deal with a German camper van rental company, and we basically made some commercial stuff for them, and basically got the van in exchange and some extra. And well, we drove the whole way because that made sense. We tried to get something in Scotland to rent it there and fly there, basically. But well, the guys from Germany were first, so we said, yeah, let's do it from here.
But yeah, well, I've been to Scotland, but I've only been to the borders, which is Brian's here somewhere. We went flying up with Brian to the borders, just over the border of into Scotland. I mean, that's quite you're up in the Highlands here, I guess. Is it the Highlands?
Yeah, I think we have been mostly actually in the area of like the Isle of Skye and like the surrounding areas on the land side, basically.
Just so you got the exciting mountains. I thought the whole of Scotland was mountains, but I suddenly realised that it's not. You have to go deep into Scotland to get the mountains.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we haven't been like fully up north because the weather predictions were not too good when we were there. We kind of had to decide where we want to go, and we said, well, let's do the Isle of Skye instead. Yeah, but it was definitely worth it.
And the music of that video is your own composition as well?
The music you hear, yeah, that's mine.
Oh,
So
that's awesome! Wow, that's
so did you put the music? Did you have the music before the video, or did you do the video? And yeah,
absolutely. Like I made a whole bunch of music about a year beforehand that I just put together as like a little EP. I wanted to get out with the thought of, well, if somebody else makes commercials or needs something for their own videos, they can basically use it. As long as it's, well, if it's a YouTube video, you can just use it like that. If it's a commercial, well, we'll try to get licensing, stuff like this worked out. But it's made with with the thought in mind that it's actually being used in films, in projects. And when I came back from Scotland, I thought, well, okay, what song should I use? In general, I went through a whole bunch of music that I found, and I figured out, well, actually, one of my own might work best for that one song.
It worked well.
It worked really well. So what come first? Was it the music or the films first?
In this case, music. Like in general, or for this one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you produce commercials and whatever. Obviously, where did the music sort of fit into it, or did it?
It was there way before anything else. Basically, I started to learn how to play the violin being 3 years old.
Wow.
Right. Okay.
I had the benefit of both of my parents. They studied both music and liked to make a lot of music. My mom is a singer, like an opera singer, and she's still in the opera. My dad learned how to play the piano and does composition, stuff like that, but he's working something different. However, they made a lot of music, like always, together. And there are stories about me still being, my mom being pregnant with me on stage, and she apparently felt like how I'm jumping to the music that she was singing. I was already making music before.
You was a musician before you was even born. I'm impressed. Most people have lessons, but so I mean, obviously you're very sort of strict sort of regime, sort of learning to play the violin because it's not an easy instrument to play.
Yeah, but it wasn't strict at all. Actually, like I saw my parents make music, and I kind of wanted to take part all the time. And somebody had gifted me, apparently one of their friends, like one plastic violin. So every time I saw them make music, I grabbed that thing.
Yeah.
And I apparently voiced the need to actually make music, and they took me to a music fair, and I really wanted to learn how to do it, and they just said, "Okay, you do you."
Great.
And I was classically trained, though. Like I had a lot of classical training. I had like 15 years of, actually teachers teaching me how to play the violin. But I taught myself how to play the piano on the side, and also electric bass and a couple other things. And that's all like my own stuff and just experimentation.
And I guess with most instruments, some instruments you can get away with, not having to read music or play. Should I say play to read music when you're playing? I mean, with a violin, I mean, I'm guessing. Well, I suppose you could learn it paraphrase, but to me, a violin is an instrument where it always seems like you got to put in the hours. You can't cheat. You've got to put in the hours to do it.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, you have to. It's difficult.
My daughter started having violin lessons once, and about 3 or 4 weeks into it, I'm trying to play, was it Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? I think it was. And she said, "This isn't for me."
I'm really feeling for you because, I can only imagine the pain my parents had to go through, teaching me doing the first steps. Like violin can sound beautiful, but I think you have to be like really good at it.
Yeah.
And I think even at the end of the time that I played it, I slowly got to a level where I was kind of okay. Now it's getting really good.
But I think it was Yehudi Menuhin was the first violinist that I actually ever sort of play a violin and think, so a violin can sound good.
Yeah, it does, surprisingly.
Because in an orchestra, you think, well, they all sound good, but they obviously all can play. So someone asked me, did you ever play in an orchestra?
Yes, school orchestra.
I guess you had with obviously violin, because it's a demanding instrument. It's an instrument I shall never go near, ever. But no, any questions? Anyone got any questions for Richard?
Where are you going next with the Avata?
Yeah.
Where am I going next?
Yeah.
Plan.
Plan.
It's no plan actually. I probably want to go on another road trip like this end of August, September. But we haven't made any plans so far. We'll see what's taking us this time.
Well, I take it you're quite busy with work as well. With you got sort of production work going on, some commercials and whatever.
Exactly.
Well, you've done quite a few commercials in the time, haven't you?
A whole bunch, yeah. That's like the day job I basically have, making commercials for my own production company, and then like do music videos as well sometimes, and like doing a lot of narrative stuff, basically.
So have you got your own studio, I take it, for your music, or you do the whole lot at home, or?
Yeah, I do it all at home, actually.
Yeah.
I thought about getting a studio, but then I realized, well, why? I don't
Yeah,
really
well, exactly. I mean, this day
to film in.
Extra
yeah, you don't need it. It's as simple as that. You don't need it. I mean, you need a room. That's all you need. A room. You got a computer. A good computer. You got yourself a recording studio. You got yourself a video editing suite. What more do you want?
Yeah,
a bigger room by the sounds of things.
Yeah, you need a very big room.
So, Richard, you're talking about doing narrative videos. Do you typically do a voiceover, or do you ever live narrate?
For narrative stuff, well, it depends. So sometimes yes, sometimes no, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
It's a mix.
I'm not supposed to do,
like
to do it.
Narrative stuff is in general, I think, I hope it is like the general term for like everything when it comes to like cinema, movies, the stuff you watch on TV, stuff like that.
But when you do it, if you do it in a studio environment, you've got no sort of, especially if you go and do something, you got a windy day, you got a microphone going, blowing a gale into a microphone. I know you can put some wind socks on it, but you can't get rid of it completely. But voiceover is probably the better option.
I'm telling you, the DJI mic has changed my life. It's absolutely changed my life.
Is it that good?
It's that good. Yeah.
Wow.
I heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
DJI come up with some good stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
That and the Action 2. That Action 2 camera is just, it simplified everything. I flipping love it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Right, so I think we've got another a few minutes before Terry's.
What?
You just woke me up.
Well, it was a video that that someone sent over to me last week, and I was in the show last week. We ran out of time, and our good friend Bernie, he's Bernie, Richard, but Bernie's an FPV pilot, and he now flies the actual DJI FPV drone.
He does the FPV drone.
I'm not sure what this video is, what we used on this video, but you know, this is FPV flying sort of quality I'd like to get to.
Punch it, Chewy.
Indeed.
Hi, my name is Bernie, and you're watching BD Seidler. Today we are in Pasadena, and we're going to fly the Colorado Bridge. It's really pretty, and I think I'll Google some information, let you know how long it is, how high it is, and unfortunately, how many people have killed themselves from it. They put a big fence up there, and it was to prevent people from doing that, but it's also known as the Suicide Bridge. But it sure is pretty. Anyway, we're gonna take the Cinewhoop up and get a closer look. All right, so anyway, stay tuned, and thanks for watching.
Bernie, that was a good one. I don't know if Bernie's flying. Yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder what drone he was flying.
Well, we said it's a Cinewhoop, so I'm guessing it was
I saw the shadow. It looked like a Nevada, but I don't think it was.
Well, there's a secret to knock down the video.
Why for you look at me like that?
I don't know. I think Marcus has got his soda on his finger. Or it could be.
And now it's time for Terry's Joke of the Week.
Now, this one is really, really corny, but I've had it on the books now for 3 years, and I thought, I've got to get rid of it. But it is so corny. But anyway, several years ago, a man was having an affair with an Italian woman. One night, she confided in him that she was pregnant. Oh, not wanting to ruin his reputation or his marriage, he said he would pay her a large sum of money if she would go to Italy to secretly have the child. If she stayed in Italy to raise the child, he would also provide child support until the child turned 18. She agreed, but asked how would he know when the baby was born. Now, to keep it discreet, he told her to simply mail him a postcard and write spaghetti on the back. He would then arrange for the child support payments to begin. One day, about 9 months later, he came home to his confused wife. Honey, she said, you've received a very strange postcard today. Oh, just give it to me and I'll explain it later, he said. The wife obeyed, and he watched as her husband read the card, turned white and fainted. She stooped down and picked up the card, and on it was written, spaghetti, 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 3 with meatballs, 2 without, sand extra sauce.
Terry's joke of the week.
I knew there'd have to be meatballs in there someplace.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, oh,
30
dear,
years
oh, dear.
over, Mickey. Mickey moved. Game over.
Game over is what he said. Which was smart of Jack, very good, and George. Where's Caroline tonight? Where's Caroline? We need
No,
her.
she's not
We
here doing
haven't.
the
That's because we didn't sing her in.
grading.
Oh,
She's not here,
no.
though. She don't get sung to if she's not
No, didn't come with me.
No.
here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Probably out flying a fixed wing, I'll bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
You realise,
She's
Richard,
so
after
good,
she's
though,
going to be
isn't she?
inundated on coming asking people to come on shows. You realise that? Well, it's so. Do you do many sort of shows at all? These sort of live streams or anything, or not?
Not really, no. I haven't really been invited to a lot of them. So
Oh, well. This
I'm not persuasive. I just think so. You can ask people, you know. I was really surprised when you agreed to come on. I thought, well, it's nice because it's nice to change, you know, to have sort of, if you like, sort of, professional guests on. I think is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
thank you.
Hey, so Richard, I noticed your YouTube channel. It looks like it's fairly new. You're just getting started with YouTube.
Sort of. I'm kind of redoing it for, I don't know, like the 100th times, I guess. I think I had the first channel when I was in my early teenage years. I deleted that one by accident. Then I made another one.
That's not good.
No.
I wanted to just, I think I just changed the name and I pushed the wrong button. Gone it was.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we started a new channel then, and I thought about like getting a group of friends together. We could all kind of be a production company and do stuff together, and it ended up basically just being me and working the channel, but still making short films with friends and doing a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. That was in a time where, well, I was basically in my finals in high school, so didn't have too much time to that. And also, like, short films at the time didn't work on YouTube anymore at all. And then I went off doing a gap year, traveling to New Zealand. And during that time, I started vlogging, trying to do that. Realized how hard it is to keep up, to edit all the time. Was we bought a van in New Zealand and lived there, so we didn't really have electricity. And I just had a very slow laptop.
Oh, I bet that was
Terrible
painful
on it.
on that.
Oh,
Took
yeah.
ages to like make one video, so that kind of stopped, and then I wasn't sure where to go with YouTube at all, and kind of just left it where it was for a while. And yeah, I think like last year or somewhere around that time, I thought to myself, well, you know what, why not? Like, let's give it a try. Let's just make something and see where it goes. And I kind of thought about like actually giving it more work, but I'm not sure where I want to take it, like content wise and
Makes
what
sense.
the themes are. Because as much as I like drone stuff, I don't really want to make like a drone filmmaking YouTube channel. There's so many of that out there, and I really like using them. But as I said, like I'm more like a storyteller, filmmaker, trying to entertain people, and I like the technical aspects in some sort, but not really. There are people that are way more into that stuff, so I want to leave that to them.
Yeah, I mean, you can always make sort of videos. I mean, pass on some of your sort of wealth of experience of filmmaking, maybe something along those lines. If you want to do something on YouTube, that seems to me with all the with people making videos on how to do things seem to be very popular because people are interested. I mean, I'm sure there are people who would love to do what you're doing and maybe pass on some of your experiences on that. So that's always a fault of YouTube, I suppose.
It is. But the fun thing is, like, I learned, I'd say, like 70 to 80% of what I know from YouTube. So it's like, I learn stuff from that. I'll just repackage it and give it back. It's
that's kind of what we all do, really. I mean, honestly, yeah.
Well, I mean, I use YouTube. To me, YouTube is like an album it's like a photo album, but a video album, if you like. And wanting to keep videos the one to keep. And the great thing about it is to actually, so you can actually just edit all the bits out that you don't want and just put all the bits that you want. That'll do. That's fine. That's all I want to remember.
Steve, can I put in a shameless plug?
A shameless plug, if you want to put in a shameless plug?
Yeah, can I? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to do it then. So we all know we're at the kind of the end of life for the DJI Air 2S. And I think the Air 2S is probably, it's arguably one of the greatest camera drones that I think that DJI has produced because of the price point, because of the features and everything. It's about to get replaced with the Air 3. So I have been out doing a lot of videoing, and on my channel, I'm going to come up with a little kind of a goodbye tribute video to the Air 2S. And of course, I did it out at the Snake River Canyon. So look for that soon on the Idaho.
That'll be good.
The Air 2 flies off into the sunset.
Well, it kind of does. Yes.
He's going to always have his puff of smoke.
Well,
Marcus flew too close to the sun.
It's a favorite drone. I feel kind of sad that it's going to get replaced.
Yeah, I did like your firework video, by the way, Marcus, when you put the 1812 on it.
The 1812 Overture was perfect for that.
It was perfect. I did enjoy that.
Thank you very much, Terry. The one where that was the Mavic 3 Pro, by the way. That was the big dog, and that one I didn't mean to be quite so close to that one shell as it exploded. I was way closer than I thought I was. Yeah.
I'd have synchronized that with the first cannon.
Should have. Yeah, I should have. Yeah.
Should have, would have, could have.
Yeah.
But no, I liked it. Thank
you.
Someone else had this hand. Should have mentioned.
Yeah, Joe.
What I usually play.
It's an album, isn't it, of your memories as well?
Yeah, I think so, because that way you don't lose it. You load it onto YouTube.
Pass it on to his granddaughter, can't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jackie's got her shameless plugs right there.
Yeah, look. Oh, what am I doing? That's my channel. That's this show. And that's the Wednesday show I do.
The Wednesday show.
There you go. Any more shows you'll be full up?
Yes,
I haven't got time for any more.
Yeah, no. You need to put something on this side now, Jackie.
Yeah.
Well,
like a curry recipe.
Yeah, curry recipe. That's right.
Yeah.
Over an hour has gone, and we haven't spoken about food once.
I was about to say.
Sorry, Richard. That's the other thing on this show. Every week,
we always end up.
It turns into like.
I got some wrong.
Terry just mentioned spaghetti in his joke, so that should count.
Yes, he did. I beg your pardon. He did. Yes,
of course. I got a fabulous recipe for sliced aubergine off of YouTube. Oh, it was lovely. And I made it for Linda and I, and it was just delicious.
Is that the one where you drizzle the honey on it and slice them in little crisps?
No. These were a little bit thicker,
really
but
nice.
they had a mozzarella and breadcrumb coating.
Mozzarella.
I'll stick.
Yeah. Spaghetti.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
As soon as you mentioned spaghetti, I knew, Terry, I knew meatballs had to come into it
Oh,
somewhere.
it's got to somewhere, yeah.
We made it to 60 minutes before talking about food.
We did.
We done well.
Yeah.
That's because we've got a great guest on tonight. We forgot. We forgot to talk
Right,
about
food.
Richard, thanks ever so much for joining us. I don't know where the hour's gone, and I've just hope you'll come back and tell us. Come back again soon or sometime and tell us your latest escapades. We'll keep an eye and check out Richard's videos. I think just Richard Beck. Yeah, Richard Beck.
I'm going to put a link in the comments here. Right
And
his music EP is on there as well.
Yeah, and there's plenty music on there. It's obviously check out this man of many talents, and we're honoured to have you on, Richard. Thanks very much for joining us once again.
Thank you very much for having me.
And safe travels wherever you are, and we'd like to catch up with you again sometime in the future. And until then, well, carry on doing what you're doing because you're doing great. Okay, right, that's all we've got time for again. And it's come to that time of day we're going to say goodbye. Well, someone
See you next
anyway.
week.
Anyway, we'll see you all next week. Take care.
Hasta pronto.
See you next week. Bye.